The Simpsons have an uncanny knack for predicting the future, and this is not just a conspiracy theory. Remember when they foresaw former President Donald Trump taking office? Or the time they eerily mirrored the tragedy of tiger trainers, inspired by Siegfried and Roy being mauled on stage? These events, once mere cartoon plots, unfolded in real life years later. One of the most shocking instances is their prediction of the OceanGate submarine disaster. The recent tragedy, involving the Titan submersible, which claimed the lives of 5 billionaires, echoes an episode from 2006 that has now gone viral on social media. It's as if the writers have a crystal ball, accurately foretelling major events long before they happen. How do the Simpsons creators keep hitting the mark with their predictions? From the doomed OceanGate voyage to the Tiger attack, their track record is startling. Are they simply incredibly insightful, or is there something more at play? Today we delve into some of the most chilling predictions the Simpsons have made for this year. Stay tuned as we uncover the bizarre accuracy of these forecasts and what they might reveal about our future, Trump's 2024 presidential run. Starting as number 10 on our list is Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. Former U.S. President Donald Trump announced his desire to run for president of the U.S. one more time on November 8, 2024. In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. When Trump took to Twitter to make his announcement to rerun for president, there were several controversies. Citizens were looking at the positive and negative of Trump's administrations. Alabama Gene had a different approach to the statement. Alabama Gene, who is the producer of The Simpsons, would post on Twitter a screenshot from one of the episodes released way back from 2024, revealing to everyone that the show had foreseen Trump will be running for the presidency in the year 2024. This prediction happened in the episode named Bart to the Future in the 17th episode of the 11th season of The Simpsons, whereby Bart Simpson got a glimpse of the future as a failed musician, and his sister Lisa Simpson is the President of the United States. You might be thinking about how and where this scene relates to the show, predicting Trump's ambition to rerun for presidency. Well, in the said episode, Homer Simpson is shown in this particular episode flying in the sky as he glides past what seems to be a campaign sign in the background which has Trump 2024 engraved on it. The bizarre part of this particular episode was that this was released on air way before Trump was even president for the first time. Would you say this is another coincidence? Or does the creator of the show know something that we all don't? Interestingly, this was not the first time The Simpsons would predict Trump becoming president. As in a much earlier episode from the year 2000, the show predicted that Donald Trump would become the most powerful person in the world and also hold the top position in the nation, which is considered to be the most powerful in the world. So, that brings us to the question of how were they able to foresee Trump ever becoming president? The Simpsons eerily predicted Donald Trump would be president. As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. Would this be another one of their prediction that will come to reality? Colonizing Mars, number 9. The Simpsons have predicted the future on several occasions. Another notable event was on March 13, 2016, when the 16 episodes of the 27th season were broadcast. Offering one of the most intriguing forecasts the show has made, the episode named The Marge Ian Chronicle. During this episode, Homer Simpson and his family were presented to participate in a program that would allow them to travel to planets in space. When on the program, the males, which included Bart and Homer, were soon to be useless after 1 week in the program, after enduring a stimulating habit for a week, while Lisa and Marge were able to depict that they both have a high level of expertise, thereby allowing them to continue up until the final selection. The plot took a turn when it was time for takeoff, and the rocket wasn't able to ignite. Unexpectedly, Lisa and Marge were able to travel to planet Mars, although it was shown that this wasn't going to take place until the year 2051. You might be puzzled at this point, thinking about how and where this episode connects to the real world. Do not worry, we will get there eventually. CEO of SpaceX, Elon Musk is known for his wittiness and tenacious behavior of invention, and exploring the unknown. It is not news that Elon Musk is on a mission to populate Mars, but it's possible to establish life as we know it on Mars. As research has found that the planet is habitable just like Earth, but what several people aren't aware of is that Elon Musk disclosed his intentions to launch the first crewed exportation to Mars in the year 2020 in an interview between Elon Musk and the CEO of Axel Springer SE, Matthias Dafner, in December. During this interview, Elon expressed that SpaceX will at one point be able to send people to Mars in the year 2026. He said if SpaceX were to be lucky, it might even happen in the year 2024. Unfortunately, this didn't happen. In the year 23, Elon disclosed that people interested in the exploration of Mars might have to wait a little longer, as it could take an additional 2 to 3 years before they can visit the red planet. In addition, he disclosed that the construction of his Starship rocket might bring the ability to live on Mars to the forefront of our technological capabilities. This mission has the potential to be the single most monumental accomplishment in the history of humanity. When that happens, the Simpsons will be able to say, "We've told you so." Apple Vision Pro Jupiter 8. Over their existence, the Simpsons have been able to prove themselves as a reliable source of predictions. In this listing, the Simpsons have been able to also predict yet another event that has seamlessly come through. Apple Industry, which is well known, has been able to bring up an innovative new product, the Apple Vision Pro Number 8. This innovation managed to end up being one of yet another prediction from The Simpsons. A video that has gone viral on social media claims The Simpsons predicted the newly released Apple Vision Pro. And in the clip, characters are seen going about their daily lives. You can see them wearing virtual reality headsets. On February 2, 2024, Apple launched the Vision Pro Number 8 and made it available to the public. The Apple Pro R8 is a virtual reality headgear that presents users with a wide variety of hyper-realistic simulations and virtual realistic experiences. The Apple Pro R8 can present users with several simulations such as interactive gaming, whereby the users are immersed in a three-dimensional gaming world, or providing users with a first-hand simulation wildlife experience. The list is endless. But the question is this the first time this product is presented to the entire world? Have we unconsciously come across this and overlooked it? In an episode of The Simpsons titled Friends and Family, denizens of the fictional city of Springfield are seen using devices that appear eerily similar to the Vision Pro. The devices cause chaos in the town as characters lose their sense of space, walking into light poles and falling into manholes. During the prophetic scenes, Mr. Burns recruited Bart, Maggie, Margie, and Lisa to portray his live-in virtual reality family. This was done as a test run for a new headgear that had a striking resemblance to the Vision Pro. This scene made it difficult for viewers to comprehend how The Simpsons could have predicted such a product 6 years before it was released to the public. Is this some sort of voodoo or a planned project? Baby translator. Next, in number 7 on our list, is the baby translator. A child trying to speak, or actually talking, is one of the most precious things in the world to listen to. From how they struggle to pronounce a sentence to when they manage to construct little sentences, which at the moment are incomprehensible. Hearing that soft, childish voice would simply put smiles on the face of anyone opportune to hear it. As sweet as that sounds, unfortunately, no one has the idea to be able to understand what these tiny, adorable little humans are trying to say. But what if we were able to? What if it were possible to decipher the babbling of a young child genuinely? This was something The Simpsons anticipated would happen. This event occurred in the closing episode of the 3rd season of the show, titled Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? In this episode, the character Herb Powell, which a number of you are acquainted with, owned a prosperous automobile firm and was later revealed to be Homer Simpson's hidden brother in the show. Here in this episode, he meets his brother, Homer, and offers him the chance to build his car, which turns out to be a mistake, leading to his downfall and making him bankrupt and homeless. Determined to make back his living, Herb wanted to invest in something that was going to make him rich again. While in the park, Herb noticed a mother and her baby, which inspired him to create a device that could translate babies' cries. Since Herb had no money to launch his idea, he asked Homer for a $2,000 check that Homer had received. After tinkering around and with the help of Maggie, Herb managed to build a working model. Again, My Baby Translator. Initially met with skepticism, Herb's invention became a surprise success, generating many profits. Interestingly, 2024 has seen advancements in technology aimed at interpreting baby cries. The Soundream company is developing technology that can understand babies' cries. Basically, what we do in Soundream is that we use AI to analyze baby cries. So we're talking about babies, let's say 0 to 1 year, 1 year and a half. Their website describes it as a non-invasive monitoring system designed to assist parents and pediatricians in understanding the needs of babies. Although apps and software already claim to interpret baby cries, their effectiveness could be better. However, Soundream has a different approach to this. They will rely on advanced artificial intelligence for sound analysis, and they believe their system offers superior accuracy compared to existing baby cry solutions. That's not all. AI technology has recorded significant advancement just this year. It is safe to say the baby translator from The Simpsons would become a reality. Soundream even promises to release their product before the end of the year. Hovering car. In a 2005 episode, The Simpsons showed us parts of the future set in 2013. Professor Frank invents a machine for Bart and Lisa. Marge leaves Homer in anger after he spends their savings on an underwater home and a prototype hover car. While the car is bumpy, it allows them to travel through traffic easily. Why'd you buy the first hover car ever made? Didn't you know it'd take time to work out the kinks? I know. It's a hover car. How far away do you think we are from the flying cars? This isn't science fiction anymore. An Oregon-based company, Samson Sky, will deliver their Switchblade flying car in 2024. After 14 years of development, this street-legal vehicle promises to change transportation in ways we've never seen before. But will you need a pilot's license alongside your driver's license? That's a question we'll have to answer shortly. In addition, Renault revealed a flying car named Float in 2017. It can move in all directions or 360 degrees. This means drivers wouldn't need to stress themselves turning. Tesla is also developing similar technology, while major aviation developers such as Boeing and Airbus are also developing their hovering cars, although their projects haven't taken flight yet. Besides the big firms, several innovative startups have led the way in flying vehicle technology. For instance, Joby Aviation is developing a quiet electric air taxi. Aeromobile's developments are even more shocking. It works on flying cars, larger passenger vehicles, and helicopters. It is really hard to keep up with the speed of technological advancement. But what if I told you you could bring a ghost back to life? Here is how. Hologram technology. Long before the development of hologram communication, The Simpsons had already shown us the concept. In one episode, Bart saw the future through one of Professor Frank's inventions, a holographic display. While we are yet to witness widespread adoption of hologram technology, as shown in the series, there is rapid advancement in the development and deployment of holograms. Developers build machines that can project realistic 3D images for communication and entertainment. The future might not be as rosy as The Simpsons depicts, but the seeds of that vision are being sown. Have you seen the DreamWalk HD3 model? This fantastic technology projects realistic 3D images and is very immersive and ultra-realistic. Picture learning the latest dance moves from a live instructor who lives across the globe or talking to a realistic model of a late friend or relative, all from the comfort of your home. While the DreamWalk HD3 is currently not surplus in the market, it shows a significant step towards widespread adoption of hologram technology. There are media reports that developers will roll out several hologram devices before the end of the year. This advancement reminds us that movie fiction has become real-world innovation. That's not all. Ivanka Trump's presidency. It seems the writers of The Simpsons focus intensely on Donald Trump and his family. There's a hint in an episode from October 2016 where Homer Simpson wears a badge that says Ivanka 2028, suggesting that Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump's daughter, might run for president in 2028. This could be another instance where the show seems to predict the future. Donald Trump is contesting the 2024 presidency, but things might not go well. For example, the jury returned a guilty verdict in his hush money trial, and the court is expected to issue a sentence by July 11th. The judge in Donald Trump's hush money trial has ruled the former president has violated a gag order and found him in contempt of court. Could it mean Ivanka will come back for the crown by 2028? But that wasn't Ivanka Trump's first appearance on the show. Remember a 2017 episode where she replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court? The new Supreme Court Justice Ivanka takes Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat on the bench. She was also shown promoting a robe and earrings from her fashion line. Interestingly, this episode was released during media speculation about Ivanka's potential political aspirations. Political commentators have also been baffled about how active and influential she's grown in her father's political circle. But there's more to this, and it seems the Simpsons are obsessed with the idea of a female presidency. Now, this may be one of the most controversial predictions for 2024, but there's an intrigue to this you'd love to know. First female U.S. president. In the Bart to the Future episode, Lisa is shown as the future president who takes office after Trump's term. She seemed focused on addressing the problems Trump left behind. From the Oval Office, Lisa told her staff that she inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. According to the episode's writer, Dan Greaney, Lisa must become president after Trump has left America hanging on the ropes. He added that President Trump left America precisely that way. We needed Lisa to face problems beyond her fixing, implying everything went as badly as possible, which is why we had Trump as president before her. In other words, things had to hit rock bottom first. Does it mean Trump will win the coming election and leave the country in a bad state? If you believe that The Simpsons predicted the first Trump presidency, perhaps it's worth considering that this prediction about Lisa taking over might also come true. Many women have tried to become the first female president. Still, they have yet to claim the crown. First was the legendary Victoria Woodhull, who became the first female presidential candidate in the United States in 1872. Although there is some dispute over the legality of her candidacy, Woodhull is generally recognized as the first woman to aim for the highest office. She didn't win, but her candidacy paved the way for other women in politics and leadership. Next was Margaret Chase Smith, the first candidate for a major political party when she was nominated by the Republicans in 1964. Although she couldn't make it out of the primaries, she qualified for 6 state primaries, coming in second in Illinois with 25% of the votes. She wasn't the last. Charlene Mitchell made history in 1968 as the first African-American woman to run for president. She also holds the record as the first woman of any race to run for the office. Shirley Chisholm followed, becoming the first African-American woman to run for president under the Democratic Party in 1972. After Chisholm lost, it took another 36 years for another woman, Hillary Clinton, to appear on the Democratic ballots. In the July 2016 elections, Hillary Clinton became the first woman to win the popular vote, receiving 66 million votes. This record remains unbroken. Could 2024 be the year America crowns its first female president? With Nikki Haley suspending her bid, it's hard to predict the outcome. However, if The Simpsons were right again, it would be one of history's most memorable moments. Rebellion of robots. There is a common trend throughout the Simpsons series, the use of humor and technological innovations. In season 23, episode 17, automation was prevalent in the workplace. It started at Mr. Burns' factory. He faced rising manufacturing and labor costs and had to make a drastic decision. Guess what he did? He replaced his entire workforce with robots. It was a hilarious scenario, but there is something serious we need to point out. Here it is. The scene raises many questions about the future of work. Mr. Burns eventually got the robots and instructed the workers to train them very well because they would soon replace the robots. That's not all. Mr. Burns addressed his employees, proclaiming the robots as the future masters of the human race. However, one employee muttered, "Wow, sounds familiar." Mr. Burns then shouted, "You fools, these are robots. You will train them and then they will replace you." Following the announcement of the robot workforce, Springfield experienced a widespread labor shortage. The town experienced a 99% unemployment rate, except for Homer, who was retained to keep up with the robot maintenance. The robots would eventually turn on the humans as they tried to murder both Homer and Mr. Burns. The people of Springfield eventually saved them. That was the end of the story in The Simpsons. But it is just the beginning for us in the real world. This brings us to the question, will artificial intelligence ever take over the world? Believe it or not, that's entirely possible. Here's one of the reasons why. A study published in January 2024 revealed that specific AI programs can resist the fancy safety methods designed to keep them under control. This study was carried out by a team of scientists at the AI safety and research company, Anthropic, and their findings are nothing short of terrifying. By programming several large language models to misbehave on purpose, this research company tries to prepare for the worst situation and develop new ways to stop an AI program if it ever goes out of control. However, as the researchers discovered during their study, some of these large language models had learned to ignore the training and stay mean. These AI programs have also learned to hide their bad behavior during training. This next prediction is just weird. It makes you wonder if The Simpsons also hired writers from space. Takeover of Mars. There are several plans to go to Mars, but this was simply unthinkable in the past years, but not for The Simpsons. In season 27, episode 6, Lisa discovers the government wants people to volunteer to move to Mars. They'd be the first people ever to live there. Lisa and her whole family signed up, of course. The episode showed all their funny adventures on Mars. The episode ends with a funny scene where they say, "Welcome first people on Mars." Unfortunately, their spaceship wouldn't start, so they didn't go anywhere. But guess what? The episode jumps to 2051, and Lisa and Marge live on Mars. Lisa even says, "I can go wherever I want, even Venus." Sound familiar? Now, Elon Musk wants to send people to Mars. He's been talking about it for a long time and even started SpaceX to make it happen. Interestingly, Elon Musk once chose 2024 as the proposed date to launch his Mars mission. Does this mean The Simpsons can see the future, or is it all just a coincidence? Let's have your thoughts in the comment sections as we move to the next prediction. Virtual reality food. There is an episode on The Simpsons where they eat food in the virtual world. In this remarkable episode, Homer and Marge wear special helmets to see and experience the virtual food. They even use straws to enjoy virtual fudge. These helmets are powered by a super advanced computer system that allows them to interact with the food as though they're in the same place, even though they're not. This scene is funny because it defies our knowledge of food perception. How do you even eat food you cannot physically see, smell, or touch? Homer even complains that the virtual fudge isn't tasty. This might seem like a crazy prediction then, but it is now gaining ground among innovators. Let's blow your mind before you discard this as a digital fantasy. There's a restaurant called Aero Banquets RMX. They combine fancy French food with virtual reality. Users have reported eating delicious food in an electronic setting. It's an entirely different way to experience fine dining. Aero Banquets RMX lets you enjoy French food in a new way with special technology that makes it feel extra real. VR companies are already doing well in games, art, and houses, but this virtual food experience is one of a kind. The developers want to change people's perceptions of food and make eating more enjoyable. Will you consider a virtual reality dinner sometime? The next revelation is quite mysterious. Get ready for a shiver down your spine. Black hole. A creepy episode of The Simpsons called Treehouse of Horror, 23 inches aired in 2013. In this episode, the town of Springfield is in danger. A giant black hole appears and threatens to swallow everything. Remember how Lisa tried to warn everyone? It's a lot worse than a stray dog, and it's a black hole. Of course, nobody listened. Lisa also warned them to stop throwing things in the hole. She said the more they throw in, the bigger and more dangerous it becomes. The black hole sucks all of Springfield, leaving Maggie alone in the ruined town. This episode is just another example of how The Simpsons seem to predict the future. This crazy episode was just a work of fiction, but it makes you wonder about giant space holes scientists have found recently. They claim the closest black hole is far away, so there's no need to worry. It is The Simpsons, and they've predicted some weird things that happened, but we are not sure the black holes will swallow our world in 2024. Maybe our grandchildren can worry about that. Music-induced mind control. In Season 12, Episode 14, Bart and his friends formed a boy band called Party Posse. They also stole a secret voice-enhancing software developed by NASA to improve their singing abilities. One of their first songs was Dropped a Bomb, and it had a weird and hidden message. The government was trying to control people's minds through their music. But there's one more hidden secret. When you play the song backward, it says, "Join the Navy." This weird trick made everyone in Springfield act strangely. Lisa found out and confronted the music director. To Lisa's shock, he was a Navy officer. He told Lisa that music has been used for a long time to get people to join the military, just like how the United States used movies to convince people to fight in World War II. Many media and intelligence reports suggest that the United States used entertainment for propaganda purposes during the Second World War and the Vietnam War. This raises questions about the role of modern music, where the government can use catchy melodies and sing-along lyrics to manipulate us into joining the military or doing other things they want. What other disturbing revelation does The Simpsons have for us? The next on our list is terrifying. Zombie apocalypse. The Simpsons take every opportunity to show us the rise of the undead. The 2009 episode, Don't Have a Cow, Mankind, shows a zombie outbreak with humor. Springfield becomes ground zero, and the Simpsons try to survive this apocalyptic situation with their usual wit. The horror starts with Krusty's new menu item called Burger 2. Burger 2 is made with a disturbing ingredient, cattle fed on other cattle. Kent transforms into a ravenous muncher, starting a wave of zombification across Springfield. Fast forward 28 days, the town resembles a post-apocalyptic wasteland, but a savior emerged as Bart became immune after eating a tainted burger. He worked hard to rescue other family members. Following advice from Dr. Hibbert, they migrated to the rumored haven of Shelbyville. One more thing before we forget. This wasn't your standard zombie apocalypse. Apu stopped the spread mainly because he was a vegetarian and didn't touch the infected burgers. Chaos erupts as the Simpsons flee the ravaged town, but Apu stays back to ensure the family reaches the safe haven. But the family briefly plans something dark. The community believes Bart's immunity makes him the medication, and they plan to eat him to cure the infection. In true Simpsons fashion, the family devised a funny and absurd solution. They made Bart infect their food supply, vaccinating the remaining townspeople through exposure. While there's no sign of a real-life zombie apocalypse soon, the Simpsons' predictions rarely go unfulfilled. Will this be any different? If you found this zombie outbreak scary, then sit tight because the next prediction is not good news either. World War III. In a 1987 short on The Tracy Ullman Show, The Simpsons touched on the chilling possibility of World War III. In this classic clip, Homer, the funny prankster, wakes his family in a panic, announcing a full-blown nuclear war. They all rushed into their makeshift bomb shelter in a record 18 seconds. They'd probably prepared for this several times. Surprisingly, it's all a false alarm, highlighting Homer's paranoia and the family's acceptance of his ways. Homer later woke his family with panicked declarations of World War III, only to be met with tired groans and their 18-second dash to the bomb shelter. The joke escalates when Bart locks Homer in the shelter after a fake doomsday announcement. Homer's exaggerated reactions and the family's tired acceptance perfectly capture the blend of dark humor and social commentary. These recurring war drills and the family's tired response may become relevant today. With ongoing global tensions, some viewers believe it is a subtle prophecy of coming nuclear conflict. The Simpsons thrill us with humor, sci-tech, and social commentary, while people continue to argue about the validity of their predictions. We have come to the end of the Simpsons predictions for 2024. Are these going to happen, or are they just guesswork? Which of these predictions truly terrifies you? Thank you for joining us today. If you like this content, please remember to click the like and subscribe button. Thank you.